Hey, what's up YouTubers? This is Fuber Dooge with another video review.
You got the touch. You got the power.
Okay, so today is going to be a little bit unusual than normal days. As you can see, since this box is so big, you can see the backgrounds, and I absolutely hate that, but whatever, it's for the sake of the review, so don't worry, we'll be back to normal as soon as I get this box open. So we're going to be taking a look at the Takara Tomy Transformers Encore 20A Devastator. It's the anime version, as you can see, because it has all Japanese, but I got this version, not the G1, because of how cartoon accurate it looks. And I can show you the head actually right here. Yep, very nice. And let's just look at the whole box here. We got up here just the name of it, which is in Japanese. We got all the Constructicons and the cartoon accurateness. And I'll show you that more when I get them out of the box, but turn this around. We got Devastator and the Constructicons. Very, very nice box art. I do like the box art. It shows Devastator here, but that looks like his G1 self. Maybe that's on purpose, I don't know. But, yeah. Very, very nice. I do love this. And it's got, sort of instructions, but, yeah. I think normally there would be tech specs here, but these might be the tech specs, but I can't read them, so. Again, Constructicons, Devastator, and back to the front of the box. So let's get this thing open and see how truly amazing this figure looks. Okay, so I got these guys out of the packaging and they're all ready to go. So we're just going to go over each Constructicon and what they look like in their robot mode. So we're going to start off with their leader, Scrapper, and he's in the front here. And I got the version, as I already said, that was the anime version, so it's not the actual G1, but I do like this one a whole lot better, just because it looks more cartoon accurate. So I'll show you his face. It looks a lot more cartoon accurate. And I already applied the stickers, as you can see, so it's got a rub symbol here. I don't know if it's going to work. No, it usually doesn't work with me. With him, you can take this off. I never do that, because I don't want to lose it. And, that's pretty much it. And I can get one of his guns here. I don't know which gun goes to who, so I just pick a random one. And there he is with the gun. So now we can just set him back. Next, we have Mixmaster. And, you're probably going to say already that he's missing a few pieces, but I'll fix that here. You can either use that one, and it does shoot. So you can use that one, or you can use this single one. But I don't ever use that one, so I'm just going to use this. And that sort of completes the Mixmaster look. He's probably one of my favorite Constructicons, although it is rather unfortunate that this is supposed to be his feet, but oh well. And I got the purple barrel in the back, which the G1 had a green one, and I really do like that. So, we'll just set him back off. Oh, forgot to put his gun on. I believe that he can have, this one. So put him there. Next, we have Scavenger. And, he is one of the few Constructicons who, sort of has a funny gimmick. Actually, I think he's the only one. It's this as part of his Devastator. Yeah, I'm not gonna go over that too much. But his face looks a lot more accurate, as you can see. Looks exactly like how Scavenger looked in the cartoon. This is just supposed to be hanging here. In some of the episodes I saw it hanging out like that, but I think that's kind of ugly. So I just try to shove it up as far as I can. And, yeah, you can take his gun here, plug it in. And there is Scavenger. And next we have Bone Crusher. Very intimidating name. And he's kind of the toughie of the group. His face unfortunately doesn't look exactly how it's supposed to. But I'm not complaining. Let's get his guns out. You can have any gun you want, except for the green ones go to Mixmaster and Scavenger, just so you want to know. On some people's, this is loose. Not on mine. It's just kind of nifty. I've seen some people do this. That looks kind of weird. So, this just sort of rests back here. And also on some pictures I've seen it go like this, but I have to tell you that it actually goes like this. Because if you look at the cartoon, it's always like this. Unless if you're, I don't know, don't like to go by the cartoon. That's pretty much all you can do with him. So we'll put him back here, and we come to Hook. He's pretty much the brains of the group. I wasn't like a huge fan of Hook, but he was always there and he was always kind of cool. His little crane back here has to stand him up, because if it's up like this, he's probably gonna fall backwards. So you have to stick this out so he stands normally. And let's get his gun out. Maybe the other gun fits in his hand. There's all of his goodness, so we'll put Hook back. And last but not least, we have Long Haul. And in the cartoon, he was always upset because he was the dump truck. Didn't like being the dump truck, so I don't know. I wasn't a huge fan of him, but you gotta have him part of the Constructicons. So his face was black on the G1, but it's now silver here, which is really nice. The thing that's kind of unfortunate is his arms. He can't reach past his own chest. But what can you do? So we'll just plug the gun right into his hand. We'll set him back there. And there are all the Constructicons in their robot modes. Now we're gonna go over articulation. So we'll just go from left to right, and we'll start off with Scavenger here. And this little thing is die-cast, which is really nice. So he can rotate his arms 360 degrees. He can sort of nod his head in agreement, whatever, part of the transformation. Both of his legs sort of move at the same time, and they sort of stop right there, so nothing really. You can pivot his feet, and you can sort of turn these, but I don't see the point in that because you can't really move the legs a whole lot. So I'll take his gun off and I'll transform him real quick. What you want to do is just collapse his arms in, hold his head down, turn his feet in, and actually you can just take these little toe things off, but I'm not going to do that. Fold this all the way down. So I take this out, and there he is in his excavator mode. Next we have Mixmaster, and take his gun out. As I said before, this can shoot. Probably didn't need to show that again, but whatever. His face actually looks how I like it. I really do like his face. You can rotate 360 degrees, sort of nod him like this. That's kind of weird. Anyway, to transform him, we can just take this out. And be careful when you shoot these, you could break this ring or something. So you just turn this in, collapse his arms, and that's probably the most simple Constructicon that is in this group of Decepticons. So I'll just take his gun out. He can rotate his arms 360 degrees, but they do kind of stick out weirdly. I suppose you could do that, but that even looks even weirder. So, yeah. Transform him. You can just take the feet, fold them in like that. Sort of extend the arms. Take the chest piece down. Turn these. Pull the head down. That was loud. Move the legs back, and they sort of just rest there. You can move this like that. Fold the arms in. You connect. And he's a bulldozer. So we'll put him back there. And now we're gonna go to Scrapper. And since he's the leader of the group, you'd expect him to be a main part of Devastator, but I'll show you later on here. He's not super important, so I'll set off his weapon to the side. You just compress his head in, and you might feel like you're gonna break it, but you're really not. This can be tough sometimes. There we go. And you can sort of fold his scooper back, fold his legs. Oh, I forgot to go articulation, but pretty much all he can do is bend at the knee, but that's part of the transformation. Move his arms. So yeah, transform him the rest of the way. And he is sort of a, I don't know what this is called, but sort of something like a scooper. So we'll just leave him there. We have Hook next. Take his gun out. And he can rotate his arms 360 degrees. Although these can pop out easily. But if that happens to you, just compress his arms in and they'll connect right back on. So actually we'll just compress his arms. Hold his head down. You can push this in if you had it out. These, they sort of turn in on themselves and you have to sort of extend this in order to do it. Yeah, sort of push it in. Press everything together and it all fits nicely, and this little thing is articulated and you can do this, which is very nice. And these guys can do that too. He can lift, he can pivot, you can turn this, and he doesn't really need to do anything. So last, of course, but not least, we have Long Haul. And I do like his transformation, probably one of my favorites. My favorite's probably Bone Crusher, but for articulation, he can move his arms not all the way, well, yeah, actually all the way. This, I guess you could count that as bending at the knee, so that's about it. Transformation, you just push his head down, put his hands in, collapse, and that can get stuck. His hands in, collapse. Turn this down, fold that up, turn his legs so they sort of turn in on themselves, and actually I better show you this. There's two little grooves at the end and they fit just into there, so they'll stay together. And his dump truck can sort of go like that, but it sort of splits. I wish these would connect over here, but I don't know, I don't really care. So there they all are, transformed into their vehicle mode. Okay, so I have some instructions that I got, and it says you can like connect some of the extra Devastator pieces to these guys while they're in vehicle mode, so I'm just going to do that here real quick. Got the big sheet of directions here. I don't know if this is what the G1 directions look like, but I don't really care. So, okay, so what it says here is I can take, I believe it is this arm right here, and I can plug in this little saw thing into it, and this is actually the arm. It does shoot out, which most G1 things shoot out. So I'll plug that in, and I'll take Bone Crusher, and I'll connect this to him. It might be a little stiff. Anyway, that's what you can do with him, because he is one of the arms. Oh, that's another problem. You always shoot these things out when you're trying to transform it. So I think that's all you're supposed to do with him. And you can sort of shoot at you with that. So next we have Bone Crusher. Oh wait, just Bone Crusher. What am I talking about? Scavenger. And what you can do with him is you can actually take a gun here, and on the directions, I believe it says this gun. So you can plug that in on top. And also what you can do with that is take the other arm, because he's the other arm, and this is kind of tough. There we go. And you can do the same thing with the drill. Just take it, plug it in. And next we have Scrapper. And I don't know why he gets stuck with the chest piece, this thing. He's supposed to be a leg, I don't know. But I believe that goes on. Actually, I should do it on the screen here. Sorry about that. goes on. Oh, sometimes it doesn't like to stick. Just like that. And we have to sort of scoot people off to the side so we won't bump into anyone. I think that's all you're supposed to do with him with that. Next we have Hook. And he is the chest, so it makes sense if he had the chest, but he has the head. And the head, I still am not entirely sure of how to do it, so please give me some grace. So you take this head, it's up like this, and by the way, that does look very cartoon accurate. I really love the head. So on the side, you can just take this, plug her in, hold her like that, take Hook here, and just put on just like that, and you can just sort of hold his crane up. And you can take a gun. I'm gonna look at the direction. It's supposed to be this one. I'll connect that. You better be able to see this. So I'll get her out of here. You can sort of just plug that right on there. So he's fully loaded. And next we have Long Haul. And I don't know if he does anything special. Oh yeah, he does. So he has these two pieces that connect to him. And for this, what you actually want to do is, I think it has plug-ins somewhere on here. So somehow it's supposed to connect on here. Oh, I see. There's two little knobs here, I think. There we go. And this is supposed to somehow connect. Oh, I see. Okay, so this plugs around in there. And he sort of has gun things. Yeah, that's pretty much all you can do with him. Last but not least, we have Mixmaster. And, he doesn't really do a whole lot. All you're really supposed to do is take this gun, plug it on here. And this is the first time I'm doing this, so if you are wondering why I'm not very familiar with this, that's why. And also, you can take a gun, any one that you want. I'm just going to take this one. And that plugs in somewhere back here. Okay, so I figured out what you're supposed to do. There's a hole up here. I couldn't find it. I don't know why I couldn't find it. There it is. Now, all these guys pretty much have weapons now, except for maybe Scrapper. I don't know if he's supposed to have any weapons. I'm looking at the directions right now, and it doesn't say anything. So, yeah, that's pretty much what you're supposed to do with these guys. To be sort of in a Devastator mode. No, that keeps popping off. Just plug that right back on. Not a huge fan of these. Never gonna display them like this or whatever. So there they are, and all of their Devastator pieces combined, except for the hands and other miscellaneous stuff. So I'm just gonna quickly disassemble these guys and get them ready to combine into Devastator. Okay, so I got these guys all disassembled and we're ready to go to combine them into Devastator. First, before I do that, just so you get a scale, they do scale well with some people. Here's Bombshell G1. Let's transform Scrapper real quick just because he's really easy. Actually, Mixmaster might do better. Yeah. Very simple for Mixmaster. And I'll do him on a different review, but just so you don't see. Scales fairly nicely. But when it comes to other G1 figures, like, per se, Grimlock, I guess he's supposed to be big, but Grimlock is kind of small compared to, like, Optimus Prime, but enough with scales. Transform him real quick. This is kind of loose on mine. Okay, so first, we're going to start off with the legs. Take a little Scrapper here. And what you want to do with him is this goes up, and there's these little bar things that stop it so they won't move. His arms click right into place. And there's the first foot. We got Mix Master. Extend, turn this up, and there you have the legs. Now we can take this little piece, and this can be kind of tricky sometimes, so on mine, Scrapper doesn't like to stick very well, so we'll just do him first so he won't be a pain in the butt. Oh, it went right away this time. Next Mix Master, they sort of just clip right in. And there's that. And he's going to get pretty tall here, so I'm going to have to move the camera a lot. But we can sort of just set these off back here. He's the next one to go. What you have to do with him is fold him down like this. Fold this down. Now we're going to take an extra piece here. This crotch piece. Just, there's a little slot. It's going to be hard to see, so I'm not even going to bother to show you. So, you'll find it. Next we have the head, and this is really tough to get on mine anyway, so I have to really push. It's not on all the way, but it works. So this you can just leave like this, or I like to push it up against just because it looks a little bit more smooth. So there's that. That's all you have to do with him. This sort of slides right in there, and this can be sort of tricky. There we go. It's kind of hard to see, so I'll adjust the camera here. It's gonna be hard to see, but I'll adjust the camera when we're done and show you what he looks like fully. Cause this guy's pretty big for a G1 toy. So next what you want to do is you can start with the arms or the chest. I like to start with the chest. So we just take hook here, and just so you don't get this mixed up, I'm gonna have to keep this up so you can see. Extend this. Extends both ways. There we are. And there's this little knob, and this is die cast, so you can turn it all the way around. So it's sticking straight out just like that. So you turn these, and they sort of fold together. Put the hook down, and there's that. And we can take this chest piece, and you can put it on either way. There's a few holes. I like to put it on this bottom one. There's a little tab here. You just push that in. Sometimes this likes to come apart, so now we have his chest, and I'm not going to put it on quite yet, so I'm just going to set this off back here, and we'll take Scavenger because he's one of the hardest figures to get on. We'll take his arm, this black one, and I like that these are black because on the G1 figure they weren't black, and in the cartoon they were, so that's another advantage of this set. Plug it in, and it does shoot out, and that can be a pain in the butt sometimes. You can have this little hook thing wherever. I tend to have it sort of like this, or like this, I suppose. I suppose you could have it under like that, but that sort of looks nice, but I don't want to break it, so I'm just gonna hold it up there. Now what we can do is just take this chest piece back here. And since these are both metal, it's going to be hard to plug in and get out. Getting it out is actually harder. There's that. We can set this down because I'm not going to connect it quite yet. We have one more piece to go, and that's Bone Crusher. So you can just have this wherever. I like to leave it like that. I like to have this like this. You can have it like this or wherever. There's a little plug in here. I'll just get his other arm. Take this, plug her in, sort of turn it just to get it fixed in there. Plug in the hand, that will shoot too, unfortunately. So now we can just take the chest piece here, the whole shebang, and we folded out this knob, and it plugs right into this black thing. Very nicely. It's on a ratchet joint. Very nice. And now for the finishing touch, we can just take this whole stinking assembly and grab Devastator, and it sort of slides right on. doesn't really plug in. It just, well, it sort of does. It's kind of hard to get at first. Oh, Scrapper came loose. So I'll just fix Scrapper here real quick. See, on mine it likes to come loose a lot. I don't know if anyone else's is like that. It's very unfortunate. But I'll set them as far back as possible. And there, my friends, is Devastator in all of his glory. Now there are a few things you can do to sort of rev him up with weapons, but I'm not a huge fan of these, so I'll just show them for the sake of the review. I think the purpose of his hand shooting out was for what I showed you earlier about them being connected to all the Constructicons, so I'll just shoot his hands out real quick. And I don't know if this is on the directions, but you can do this. You can just plug this in and he can drill your face off. That sort of makes sense because he's a Constructicon. Constructicons do construction work with drills and whatnot, so I'll just leave that off. So you can do the same for the other side, but you already know how to do it, so yeah. There's another thing you can do that I'm not a real huge fan of. Oh, Scrapper came loose again. Take this little thing, and it doesn't really fit in his hand, and that's done on purpose. It's supposed to go right into his head. Scrapper came off again. It's hard to see. There we are. I swear I'm gonna have to connect this like 50 times in this review. And it kinda looks weird. I don't really like it. So you can have it like that. You can also take his gun here. I do like his gun, by the way. Really do like this gun. Plugs in very nicely. Scrapper came loose once more. Devastator can fire at ya. And that's pretty much all you can do with his weapons. But I'll just take his weapons off so we can show you what really he can do with like articulation and stuff. So I'll just do that off stage here real quick. Okay, so now I've got all his weapons off, so I'm gonna go over articulation here. It's actually fairly nice except for the legs. The legs don't move at all, but the arms are actually pretty good. So I'll just get right to it. For Scavenger, which is the arm, move him up close here. You can turn this, and this, I forgot to show you, but he could turn there when he was in vehicle mode. He can bend at the elbow. Oh, Scrapper came off again. Can you believe it? I can. You can. I guess you could bend at the knee a little bit, but it's a real pain in the butt, is what it is. I suppose you could do this with his foot. This is on a ratchet joint. Very nice. Unfortunately, it doesn't really go very far because the chest piece gets it. Same with the arm. It moves, but not very far. It's just part of Bone Crusher that stops it. So I tend to not move much with the arm. I'm kind of glad that it's his right arm because I'm a righty and I like to pose my Transformers with weapons and right arms. So if you're a lefty, I'm sorry. But yeah, that's pretty much all there is for articulation. I suppose you could move his head up and down, nodding to Megatron's commands. It came off again. That's like the 6th time this review. Anyway, so for scale size, I can get Grimlock out here. There's Grimlock. I actually put him right next to him. Fairly nice for scale with Grimlock. He could fight the Dinobots. I just couldn't resist. But with someone like Bombshell, it scales very nicely. Because this is about how big Decepticons were next to Devastator. And they did make some mini versions of G1 Optimus Prime and G1 Megatron. So you could stand them up next to Devastator. Same with the Dinobots, they did that with the Dinobots. So, set those guys off to the side. I think that's all there is to say. I really love this set. I can't express how much I love this set. I mean, the G1 Devastator was pretty good for its time, and I do like it. It's just this thing looks so much more like the G1 cartoon Devastator. It's got the purple barrel, it's got his black arms, it's got the right looking face. It's just, overall, I really, really like this set. If you didn't know, before I had a cheap knockoff version of Devastator that was like this tall. I'm very glad I got this figure. Very, very glad. I sold it a while ago, so yeah, this is very superb. I love the figure. Very, very good. It has the same size as the G1 Devastator, so if you wanted to get like the upgrade parts, you could use it on this one. It's not a knockoff. Well, I guess you could call it a knockoff, but it's same size and scale with the G1 Devastator, so it's pretty much an exact replica besides the molding differences on the face and the colors and stuff. So yeah, I think that's all there is to say. If I had to give a scale of this guy from 1 to 10 or rate him or whatever, definitely a 10. Love this. Well, maybe a 9.5 just because of my scrapper issue. But if I didn't have the scrapper issue, definitely a 10. Love this figure. With the upgrades, it'd be a little bit more cooler, but it's still pretty darn cool without the upgrades. So, this has been Fuberduge, and keep playing, guys, and make sure you stay tuned for Sally's opinion on this figure. Hey, Sally, what do you think about G1 Anime Devastator?
Oh.
Smart pooch.
You got the touch. You got the